Welcome, guys, to your Gaming Techies VR show, a show where we look at PC VR, PSVR, and mobile VR, so you guys don't have to waste your time and money. And today, we're looking at a sequel called Budget Cuts 2. Now, obviously, the first game came out a little over a year ago, and this game is obviously a sequel to that game, and we're going to find out if a year was enough to take the first one to new heights. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.
Alright guys, here we are with Budget Cuts 2. I'm excited to dive into this game because I actually never played the first Budget Cuts when it came out. I did hear a lot about it. I have played Budget Cuts 1 now, just recently, right before playing this game. But I'm excited to see what this game is about and, see what's improved and see how this is. So let's go ahead and dive right in here. You got the option of either room scale or forward facing. So let's go ahead and do it.
This is your motherboard speaking. This train is heading toward Transcorp Central with unwanted cargo. A rogue human troublemaker is hiding on board to preserve a nice and efficient atmosphere in the workplace. Supervisors have been approved to use extreme optimization. If optimization proves unsuccessful, further measures have been pre-approved and will require no active participation on your behalf. Now is a good time to let your shift leader know you might be very late to work today. You are expected to make up for lost time tomorrow. Thank you.
This is kind of showing you you're throwing the thing over there, which is very similar to the first one, and you're going through.
Hi there, this is Winter speaking. I thought I had lost you there for a while, but you seem to be all right. I've managed to hack into the Transcorp systems, so I should be able to follow what you do all the time. Isn't that great?
Awesome.
I am in no hurry to return to the Transcorp offices. I hope you're not either. This train stops close to the Transcorp Cost Optimizer mainframe. We need to shut it down for good. I think I know how, and it shouldn't be too hard, promise. You're all okay with that then?
Yeah.
Good, because my plan kind of relies on you doing a lot of the work. Okay, I'm unlocking the door for you now. Good luck.
Definitely on a fast-moving train. This is cool. Going to the side of the building. Alright, I'm actually gonna have to get on the floor here. Stash useful items. Those are obviously definitely useful. Oh. In order for me to grab that. Grab that. Grab that. Anything else in this one? Oh.
Well, hello there, dear viewers, and welcome to the Transcorp Daily News. Supervisors are continuing investigations into the disturbances at the Transcorp offices yesterday. There are reports of a stolen prototype transportation device, and apparently a stamp with the imprint "declined" is also missing. Several coffee cups have been smashed to pieces, and most of the cookies seem to have been devoured by an unknown offender. To me, this feels like an attack on our way of living. In other news, officials at the Transcorp paperclip factory have succeeded in constructing a 25-pound paperclip. thereby inching closer to that elusive target of 1 million pounds of paperclips per year. We wish them good luck in their endeavors.
Oh god.
We have a rather pressing issue to take care of before we take down the cost optimizer, and that is that you're about to die. It seems they know we're coming, so they've planted a bomb on the train. You should probably defuse it. You know how to do that, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Okay, let's see if we can pull this out of inventory. Oh boy. I guess he doesn't die immediately. Apparently we should go closer. He died the first time that time, and that's some nonsense. Alright, let's store. That might come in handy eventually.
No, there is so much work to be done.
That sucks. Anything on top to collect? Nope. We got nothing going on. Making sure there's nothing to collect before you move. What is this? Oh, just table to fold. Okay. Nothing underneath. Making sure they're not trying to hide anything on me. Jump onto the other train. Oh! Oh, that was a terrible throw.
Uh-oh. There are way too many of them. You should look for another way past this car.
And this is where we hop onto the other one. That explains why I shouldn't have used those knives and just threw them away. Alright. Let's grab all the cups this time. We'll put them all away. Smash this guy's head. Because we knew he was here already. From the last time we got roasted.
Then mix in a few drops of rubbing alcohol.
Grab the scissors, of course.
A bucket fire.
Grab some more cups. We should be fully qualified to take these guys out. Peekaboo, get up. Attaboy. He's just knocked out though, so we gotta hurry. Actually, we want to knock him out, so... Oh, shit! Just broke a cup.
so disruptive.
There we go. Alright. We can go, we can go. Now we're moving. Close this door behind us. Don't want that guy coming out. Alright, now we gotta deal with these guys. Got him right there. Get him out.
While I do love the fact that there is no bomb on this train, you really need to
Got
find
him.
a way back. If we stay here, we'll end up who knows where. Definitely not close to the cost optimizer.
Oh, these scissors are screwed. Let's get back on the other side of the
You're
train.
not getting through here easily. Maybe there's something on the train that can help you.
All other attempts to stop the human ex-employee.
There's a goddamn guy in here, and I got nothing to use him with.
I have decided to
Shit.
train up. This means you will be very late for work today, and also experience fast deposits of pain. But don't worry, all your parts will be recycled
Hold on.
in the most cost-effective way possible.
I'm way too close. No, I'm in here by accident. I don't know how I'm supposed to get around them if I got nothing to go against them. This ain't gonna work out. Is there something for me to use? What the hell is he even shooting me? I'm like behind. Oh shit. Look at this guy. Oh boy. Alright.
Yes, the human was proven most dangerous. Our lack of success makes me feel quite inadequate
This guy's
analyzing. How are we supposed to eliminate humans properly if they resist us and destroy the kitchenware? After we both get our promotion, I want to make the humans pay for what it did to the kitchenware. I should.
Can I make a run for it? Who wants to find out? Works for me. That was real ghetto, but I'll take it. This guy's
Every
got all his
bartender
glasses
knows that the
ready.
secret behind a good drink is a few dashes of high-octane gasoline.
Alright, let's take all these glasses. I'm sure they'll come into use. Lost and found, nothing in here. Take some more cups.
With a twist of lemon,
I don't see
voila.
anything in here we can
Cafe
use.
Prince.
Let's see if there's anything.
Station, or will you buy one from me?
not the same side as the other one, so it's possible we'll find something we can use.
I made it funny. I put a note on his back.
Oh, 3745. Put a note on his back. Yeah, you definitely gotta listen in this game. It ain't just for talk. 3745. I didn't kill these clowns though, so we're actually gonna have to kill them probably to get by them this time. 3745. Oh boy. But if I go, oh wait. What if I grab a cup with my one hand and...
Hello.
I'll take it. Oh shit, wrong number. Hey!
The bomb should be straight ahead. They didn't count on us getting here at all, so there should be plenty of time remaining on the countdown.
Okay.
Take a few deep breaths and take your time defusing it. You've got this.
Screwdriver. We got 15 minutes. I'll need this. Get this out.
Uh-oh, that's bad. You might want to get rid of that.
Works for me. Throw it off the train works for me too. Hey! So let's do a little intro mission.
You are standing inside a human zone. If you venture outside it, pain will be administered.
That's
Please,
cool.
head efficiently toward your designated goal.
I don't think they know who we are yet. The cost optimizer probably thinks we died in the explosion. We need to use that to our advantage. Like I said, we're heading to the motherboard of the cost optimizer. There should be a large door just straight ahead. Then we just need to breeze through the efficiency distribution center and then workforce fabrications. It shouldn't be too dangerous, unless we trigger the alarms. And we won't do that, right? Right?
No, of course not. We got a gun now, though. Alright, so guys, we're going to leave this off here. That gives you guys a little bit of a scenario of what the game is like. I'm going to continue playing this game and you know, see what it develops into, see how different it is compared to the first one, and then, of course, we're going to talk about it at the table now. So let's go ahead and do it. Alright, guys, so that was Budget Cuts 2 on the Oculus Rift S. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of that gameplay video, I never actually played the first Budget Cuts. I played it now, right before I played this one, just to get some comparison and feel what the differences were, because I never actually got a chance to play the first one when it came out last year. These games are a year apart. They went ahead and actually got some help from Fast Travel Games to make this game in the last year. And Budget Cuts 2 is basically what most people would probably want out of a sequel. Everything is bigger, everything is better. But the overall design of what the first one was and this one is obviously still the same. I mean, they only made this game in a year, so the framework is basically the same. So if you didn't like the gameplay style and the stealth and stuff like that the first one had, and what you guys saw in the gameplay video here, you're obviously not going to like this game if you didn't like the first one. What they made better here, compared to the first one when I played it, is the first one, first of all, it was all basically in an office. It was very, like, the level design was very, like, simplistic. It was just in an office. You were crawling on the office trying to go around these guys and stuff. So the level design was basically very samey. On this one, definitely much bigger in landscape. Even the ending that you saw there, where we cut off the gameplay and how expansive that area was that we were about to start exploring, that level is huge compared to what the first game ever had as far as, like, places to explore and go around. So the levels have grown immensely, and they're a lot more. They feel a lot more alive, and they're a lot more thought out and a lot more like immense in scope. So that is a very, very positive change, obviously, compared to the first one. And they're very differently designed, so that's always good. More variety in it. And obviously, the teleporting system is back from the first game, where you're pointing your gun, and then you get to look and point around and see where you go, and then hit the trigger again to actually move there. And some of the later levels that I was playing, I didn't finish the game completely, but I finished more than 50% of it. When you go through and you get through when you're using that gun, some of the levels later on start to become more like engaging as far as like using that gun to peek around corners and really get into that fact to see and use that gun before you actually walk into a doorway to actually see what's going on there, see what you can grab, and see how you should tackle this level. And what I really like about the game, and you guys saw a little bit of it here, it seems like people who play this game are probably gonna do the outcome, like the actual rooms that you're trying to get around, probably differently than other people. I guarantee you that the way I played that train in the beginning, where I had those two guys in there, where I decided to peek my head in the doorway after it was open and knock the guy out, and then peek myself back out, grab the scissors, and go and teleport right to the guy and try to smash him. A lot of people probably didn't do it that way. A lot of people probably did it other ways. There's probably different ways, maybe easier ways than I did it. But that's what I like about the game. You can tackle it in many different ways. There's not one way to do it that's correct, and there's very different ways, to tackle each like area that you're going through, and that obviously adds to some replayability and more excitement to play the game, because you feel like you can do anything you want to these guys and probably still get past them. Like you saw me, I decided to right there towards the end, I decided to just teleport around all two of those guys. We knew the guy was seated, and I knew the guy wasn't going to catch me in time, so I literally put in my thing, teleported to the door, opened the handle as fast as possible, and teleported the hell out of there. Other people probably didn't do that either. Maybe people had other ideas. Maybe that was the way to do it. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else's video on that scene to see how they did it. But it's just cool to be able to think outside the box and do it in different ways that maybe other people are thinking on how to do things. Some of the thing that you didn't also get to see that I got to see later on after playing that is new from the first game to this one is the bow and arrow. You actually get to use a bow and arrow now. Makes the levels have even more strategy in them, because now you actually have a bow and arrow that you can shoot from a distance. Because as you can see, a lot of the things that you saw in the beginning, I had scissors, I had cups and stuff. You usually have to get pretty up close to them to actually use it. Like, obviously, there's some distance you can throw it at, but for the most part, you have to be in the general vicinity. With the bow and arrow, you can shoot them a lot further away. So that adds some strategy to the game, and it adds a lot more different variety to what the first game was doing, because there was no bow and arrow in the first game. Some of the things that they probably still didn't improve. The reason that a lot of people didn't like the first game, especially when they first came out, was mostly because there was a lot of bugs in the game, a lot of things that prevented you from even progressing in the gameplay and stuff like that. There's hardly any bugs in there. There's still a couple. You guys saw one right there in that video where the guy wasn't actually moving like he was supposed to in that train for whatever reason. But nothing game breaking, and there wasn't very many of them. So compared to the first game, from what I heard, obviously it's been patched out now, and I played it just now, so I don't see it. But from what I heard, the first game, that was this major problem when it first came out, is that there was a lot of game-breaking bugs and a lot of bugs in general in that one. This one seems a lot more polished, a lot more time to actually get things right, and they already had the framework. So this one's definitely more polished than when the first game definitely came out. A lot more fleshed out. One of the things that I feel weird, and apparently a lot of other people talked about this when the first game came out, and I definitely feel it here as well, is that when you try to throw things, and you saw I struggled a little bit here. When you try to throw those scissors and those cups, you think just taking a cup and flinging it like this is enough force to throw it at the guy and knock him out. No, you really need to take it like a freaking baseball and like literally throw it at them. It just feels like some of the things maybe require a little bit too much, a little bit more force than you're probably thinking you actually need. Which is definitely something I've noticed, and why I struggled a couple times throwing those cups and failed at it, because I thought you only needed this much force, and it actually ended up being a lot more. So that's just something to keep in mind. It does require a little bit more force than you're probably thinking you actually need to do. But that was the way it was in the first game too, and it's the same way here in the second game, as far as how that works. And the only other negative I'm not a big fan of puzzle games in general, even though I like this game because of the stealth mechanics and because of sneaking around. And what I really like about the game, too, going back to things that I like, is that this game makes you go on the floor, make you use room scale, more than a lot of other games in VR do right now. Like, getting on the floor, ducking behind things, doing those things don't really happen a lot in VR games that I play. And this one actually does do that based on the environment, based on the gameplay. So that's really cool to be able to, really feel like you're using your whole room and stuff. Especially the bigger space you have, the better it's going to be for you. But with that being said, some of the puzzles, as not a person who likes a lot of puzzle games in general, because I'm just terrible at them, there were some crazy puzzles in here that were a little bit like hard to like figure out. Like obviously the first one I showed you guys was cool. You listen to the guy. Definitely listen to the actual people talking. It's not just for flavor. They actually tell you things that are important. So keep that in mind and look around and spot things and stuff, because you will miss things and then you're gonna have to back travel and be like, what the hell did I miss? Listen to those guys walking around and listen to the gameplay audio that you're hearing, because that will help you. If I didn't hear that guy, I would have never even noticed that the guy had that on the back. I probably would have walked away, struggled for another 10 minutes trying to find out what I was going to do. But some of the puzzles are a little bit weird. Not many of them, but some of the puzzles I like struggled, and they were like weird when you found out, oh, I was supposed to do that. I would have never even thought of that kind of thing. But still not a big deal. Overall, much improved game from the first game, from the hours that I played in the first one before I started playing this game. You can tell, like I said, the levels are bigger. They're more diverse. They're feel more alive. So the gameplay, the actual story here is longer. I believe from what I heard, it's about 6 to 8 hours, depending on how you play it. So that's good to hear. And I'm having a blast playing this game. I think it's a game that everyone who's into the stealth genre should probably get into and take a look, especially if you like the first one, but you were hindered by like a lot of the bugs that you saw, or you thought the office environment was a little bit too bland and boring after you played it for a while. This game will be exactly what you were looking for. This is probably what they wanted this first one to be, but we're only able to make it on the second one, so it was good that they were able to get help from an outside company such as Fast Travel Games to help them build this game out. And it showed that they actually did an even better job than the first one. There was always potential in that first one. From what I played, from when I played it, I was like, this is an interesting concept. It just feels a little bit boring with the environment that you're in, because it's always the same thing. And this one obviously changes all that and makes it feel like it's a more of an open space that you're exploring. So really cool stuff. Budget Cuts is released now for I believe it's $29.99 on the Oculus Rift store, on the Oculus store, and also on Steam, of course. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check that one out. If you guys have any questions about any of the gameplay you guys saw here today, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
Tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.